Hello, one and all. It's my reaction review and cut kind of video of Arifureta Season 2, Episode 9. And I'm not really sure what to expect going into this because Volume 6 is interesting. I mean, Volume 5 was dense, overwhelmingly dense, but it was also, fairly linear. They went from point A to point B to point C, so on and so forth. Volume 6 has like 5 fights all happening basically simultaneously, and this episode would cover any number of those fights, or all of those fights, or none of those fights, and instead be focused on the prep leading up to them. All possible. My best guess, though, is this episode is going to be focused on Yui and Shia. Next week will be Hajime fighting Noi. The week after will be the remaining fight. And then the final episode will just be the epilogue. I mean, seriously, a good 30% of this volume is just epilogue. And yet it is so good. It is so, so good. Seriously, I picked up the book last night just to read, one chapter. And I ended up reading almost the entire thing in one sitting just because it was that freaking amazing. And I'm so, so excited to see it animated. So let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Hiya, Noint. It's nice to meet ya. And of course, Hajime has no problem fighting, an angel, a freaking apostle of God. But the fact that he's holding Aiko Sensei is a bit of an issue for him. I mean, she's rather small, she probably doesn't weigh all that much, but he still needs to support her, he still needs to hold her up. And plus, there's the fact that Hajime moves way too quick for Aiko. Even when he slows himself down as much as possible, he is still moving faster than any roller coaster back on Earth. And I can't imagine Aiko was all that much of a roller coaster aficionado, so yeah, this fight's gonna be really, really hard for her. And for Hajime, who needs to support her. Very bad. Very, very bad. Thankfully, that confident smile calms her heart and assures her that Hajime will be okay. Huzzah! Okay, so right now, Lily, Kaori, Shia, and Yui are off to make sure the students are all okay. Not because Hajime actually cares about them, but more because Hajime knows that once he's finished saving Aiko, he'll need to leave her in the hands of the students, and if they've all been brainwashed, then yeah, that's going to be an issue he'll need to solve, an issue he'll need to figure out. And the light novel also takes a minute to appreciate the fact that even though Koki is the apparent leader of the classmates, and someone Lily kind of had a crush on, the first person she decides to go to is Shizuku, because she is the one that Lily trusts the most. Oh god, I love it, I love it. Shizuku is everybody's big sister. And that would be the first of 3 barriers being shattered, the barriers that keep the capital safe from, invasions. And with them gone, anyone can just kind of invade. Oh no! Also, Shia is in a lot of pain right here. Basically, she had her ears turned up to the max, make sure she could hear anyone approaching them, and as a result, this loud explosion was really, really loud to her. Oh, interesting. I was kind of wondering why Hajime said in last episode, hey everybody, give me those charms that Miyu gave us. I guess it was to turn them all into telepathy stones. Interesting. That was not in the light novel, but it's a good addition to the anime. Cool. Yeah, the white dragon, whose breath nearly killed Hajime, and whose master, Yui, is really, really ticked at. Oh, that poor demon, that poor, poor demon, and dragon, I suppose. Yui really, really wants revenge. I love it, I love it. Okay, Shia, you're starting to sound a lot like your family, the violent Spartan warriors that Hajime, twisted into monsters. And once again, the most beautiful princess in the entire world is being completely and utterly ignored and forgotten. I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, this is some butt-ugly CGI. I mean, seriously. This is, almost Season 1 level bad. Hopefully they'll be dead soon, though, so it won't matter. Okay, it does kind of matter. They are really, really ugly. It is some low-quality CGI. I should also probably point out that, this is an entire capital. Thousands of people are about to be murdered by this invading army, and they aren't really doing anything about that. They don't actually care about the invading army, the citizens of the capital, or anything like that. They just really, really want to murder Freed. Yeah, Lily was really bothered by the fact that she was, again, like I said, completely and utterly ignored. Wow. Oh my god, that is brutal. I mean, seriously, even Tio felt bad for her, and yet Yui and Shia completely ignored it and just moved on. I love it. Yeah, this is something that really concerns all three of them, because Hajime is basically saying, I am facing an opponent that could actually kill me, that could actually threaten me, an opponent so powerful I actually need my full focus to take them out. And that is a very, very rare occurrence. I mean, even when it came to Freed and his dragon army, they were only really able to hurt Hajime because of a surprise attack. Otherwise, Hajime would have murdered every last one of them in all of 2 seconds. Or 2 minutes. Okay, they're actually skipping quite a bit here. Before Freed showed up, Yui and Shia actually killed a whole bunch of demons. It was actually really funny. I mean, they saw the rabbit girl and the little girl and like, okay, they're not an issue for us. They launched some attacks and they tried to fly away, only for a whole bunch of them to die. And yet Yui and Shia did not give chase because they really, really didn't care about them, which hurt the demons' pride so badly they all charged at them and attempted to murder them, and they were all very, very quickly murdered themselves. Like, I wish I saw that. I really was hoping to see more of that. But alright, so we're going right to the battle against Freed. And Mikkel. Yeah, I mean, let's not forget, last time Freed saw them, they were in the middle of an active volcano that was erupting. So, yeah, he really thought that would finish them off. I mean, he sacrificed the chance to teach the rest of his species spatial magic for the sake of killing Hajime, and yet he failed to kill Hajime. Oh, Freed, you can never win. You really can never win. Yeah, Freed seems to be under the assumption that Hajime is the only monster in his party, and that the rest of them are, significantly weaker. Even though he kind of did fight them in the volcano labyrinth, he didn't realize how utterly, utterly overpowered they are. I love that. I absolutely love it. In the light novel, Freed even says, "How dare you make me kill my own men?" Oh, that was a great line. That was such a great line. And in fact, Yui actually was a bit more clever in the light novel because she set up 2 pairs of portals, 2 in front of her and 2 behind Freed. And because Freed could only create 1 pair of portals at a time, he assumed that's all Yui could do as well. And so he had no reason to think the attack would be redirected behind him until, it started killing all of his people. And that would be Mikhail, the lover of Katleya, the red-haired demon back from Season 1. He is not handling her death all that well. Yeah, she is rather confused about why Mikhail is so overwhelmingly angry at her. I mean, in Shia's defense, by this moment in light novel, she had already killed so many demons in this invasion that just saying, hey, do you remember the one red-haired demon, probably wouldn't clear things up for her. And seriously, to respond with, oh yeah, that person, that's gotta hurt. That is really, really gotta hurt. Oh, poor Mikhail. Dude, just already shut up. I mean, seriously, you're going on these long rants. Oh, Katleya was this, Katleya was that. I'll tell you what Katleya was. She was a woman of few words. And when it came time to die, she said, my lover will avenge me, and then she died. She died a proud and dignified death. And now you're coming up to someone who's just related to her killer and going on these long rants. And it's like, just shut up. Seriously, just shut the freak up already. I mean, really, why would she care at all about Katleya, about one random demon she's killed, after she's already killed so very, very many demons at this point, and is about to kill so very, very many more? And, that's another good point. Let's not forget that Katleya attacked them. Katleya attempted to murder Hajime, even after Hajime gave her the chance to run away. He said, I'm giving you this one chance. Run away right now, and I won't chase after you. And she decided to try and murder him, so of course he murdered her. That's, how laws work, I think. I don't actually understand how laws work, though I make it a point to ensure that nobody wants to kill me, so I don't have to figure those things out. That is also another good point. There is no way Mikhail would listen to Shia's rambling if, he murdered Hajime. I mean, not that could ever happen, but if it did, Mikhail really, really wouldn't care to hear stories about him. It's time to bring out the kendama. Oh, you should run while you have the chance, dude. You should really run. Yeah, she is just killing you by the dozens at this point. In fact, in the light novel, it actually says that she can freely change the direction, speed, and weight of it. So it is a deadly, deadly tool that can murder just so very, very many demons in a row. Seriously, Mikhail, you just got a whole bunch of your people killed. Are you gonna tell sob stories about them now? Yeah, those needles have the petrification effect, meaning that Shia is now going to be completely turned to stone, so a rather deadly tool and a rather efficient one at that. I will give Mikhail a point for that. That was a rather brilliant strategy on his part. Unfortunately, he is really, really underestimating this rabbit girl. Yeah, unfortunately for them, Shia has learned restoration magic and can undo stats effects like petrification, so oh, they in trouble. They are in a lot of trouble, and God above they look ugly. Seriously, that's some really bad CGI on them too. I mean, the Black Eagles, whatever you call them themselves, actually look pretty good, but the demons are just oof. Wow, this dude's crazy. This dude is really, really crazy. Though he's also fairly talented because the spell he's using, Thunder Hammer, it's supposed to, make one really big bolt of lightning that's fairly easy to dodge, if you're a freaking monster. But what he did here is divide it into 1,000 separate bolts of lightning, all of which Shia needs to dodge. And unfortunately for him, she has really been training her future sight skill to the point where she unlocked the derivative skill, Prophetic Vision, which allows her to see 2 seconds into the future while requiring much less mana, so she can see where every one of these bolts of lightning will land and can easily dodge all of them. She's literally dodging lightning. She is literally dodging lightning. Oh, poor Mikhail. That is an interesting response, and one that'll just make him all the angrier, especially because demons are really racist to beastmen. Yeah, I think in light novel, she actually goes off and murders all of his men before coming down to finish him off. Which, just adds such complete and absolute injury to insult. Insult to injury. One of those. Yeah, she likes being called a monster because that means she is one step closer to becoming like Hajime. One step closer to becoming like the man she loves, the monster of the abyss. Mikhail also has a final line in the light novel where he says, if there really is an afterlife, I'll need to look for Katleya there, which is the most decent thing he said this entire time he's been fighting. The most honorable thing, at the very least, because God above, this dude just went on and on, Katleya this, Katleya that, while just seething with freaking rage. I mean, I get you're angry, but handle it better, dude, seriously. You literally just got all of your men killed because you wanted to get revenge on this little rabbit girl, who wasn't even the one that murdered Katleya. That was Hajime. Dude, you made some very, very bad choices. Yeah, long-range attacks don't really work on Yui anymore because she can use gravity magic to basically eat them. Those are mini black holes she can summon basically at any point she wants. Yeah, I'm not sure how much we saw this back in Season 1, but those are the Absa turtles. Katleya had a few of them, or at least one of them, in the labyrinth with her, and their ability is that basically they can eat one spell. They don't work too well on Yui's magic, though, because it's composed of 2 separate spells, lightning magic and gravity magic, and the combination could basically make one explode. In fact, as part of the light novel, a second turtle has to show up and lend a helping hand for it to successfully eat the spell. And when it tries to fire the magic back at Yui, it comes out in 2 shots, one yellow for the lightning magic and one black for the gravity magic. Oh, dude, you are so underestimating Yui right now. It is not even funny. Yep, this is going to be the next step. Though before we get to that, I do want to mention that in the light novel, Fried first tried to have his dragons attack her directly, go up and tear her to pieces. And her response to that was to use Void Shatter, a spatial magic spell that basically splits reality, literally cuts reality along lines that she decides, cutting the dragons into literal mincemeats. But instead they're cutting right to Yui's next attack, the 5 heavenly dragons, made of wind, water, earth, fire, and lightning. Lightning was what I meant there. Okay, this actually looks really good, better than anything else we've seen so far this episode. Basically, what Yui's doing here is attacking with multiple types of magic at once, and because the turtle can only absorb one, it can't absorb the 5 heavenly dragon attacks all at the same time, and so they all die. So sad. Really, this is better than anything we've seen so far this episode. That is impressive and kind of sad. Curious. Okay, these are all just still images, but still an improvement over the lackluster CGI we had before this. Though even for Yui, summoning, those huge 5 dragons all at the same time took up quite a bit of magic, and she is a bit winded because of it. Yeah, this is a terrifying spell. A truly, truly terrifying spell that basically explodes space. That's actually how it's described in light novel. Basically, it makes all of space contract into a small point and then rapidly expand, basically forming a shock wave that rips apart everything around it. Like, imagine throwing a very large rock into a lake. It makes waves. And even for Yui, countering a spell of this magnitude requires quite a bit of focus. In fact, she needs to set up an illusion cage, which basically fixes space around her, locks it into place so that it won't be shaken by reality literally being shaken. Okay, it really does seem like most of the budget for this episode went into this second half, this part of the fight, which does make sense. I think Yui's more popular than Shia. I assume Yui's more popular than Shia. Yeah, so Freed's big giant attack mostly just served to destroy his own soldiers, his own dragons, while Yui's clothes are just a little bit damaged. That's all he did. I'm sorry, Freed, but you are fighting way outside your weight class here. Okay, that was, a fairly powerful and deadly blow. I mean, let's not forget that Yui has regeneration magic, not just the ancient magic of the gods, but she literally has a skill that is just regeneration. She can heal from basically any wound, just so long as she has the mana necessary to do so. So even, a blow like this is not all that deadly to her. In fact, as part of light novel, it's even mentioned that back, before she was sealed away for 200 years, her preferred fighting style was to completely ignore defense, to literally let herself get as cut up and beaten as necessary while just entirely focused on using magic, on destroying everything around her. Oof. That is a serious blow. That is a really serious blow. Wow. And that is a truly terrifying smile, especially with her, covered in blood like that. Oh, dude, you done ticked off Yui. You should just kill yourself now. You should literally just kill yourself now. It will save you such a headache down the road. Oh, love it. I love it. Revive Reversal. This is probably one of the best spells in this entire series. What it basically does is turn time backwards, forcing a person to experience every wound they've experienced in their entire life, opening up old scars and just making the person feel the exact same pain they did when those wounds were first experienced. So yeah, he's feeling all the damage he took from the last time he fought Hajime, which as Yui says is their own personal way of getting revenge against him, forcing him to relive his defeat against him. I love it, I love it. Oh, wow, above. The glowing red eyes are... Oh, they're something else. Back in light novel, Freed said this entire fight, Yui had seemed like a god, an angel, such a divine beauty, but in this moment she appeared more like a devil. And that is true. That is abso-freaking-lutely true. Oh, you do not want to take off Yui. That is such an overwhelmingly bad idea. Also, I kind of feel like he should have run out of blood by now. That was a lot of blood. How much does he have inside of him? Seriously. You can't. You will lose. She will abso-freaking-lutely kill you. Yeah, the dragon probably isn't doing all that much better. I mean, I know it's a bigger thing, but that is a lot of blood that is pouring out of it at a very, very quick rate. Yeah, you're gonna die. You're all gonna die. I mean, Freed will escape, but all of his, soldiers that are staying behind will be utterly and completely slaughtered by Yui. Holy God above! Yeah, I don't think even she has ever seen Yui quite that angry before, quite that bloodthirsty before. Yeah. And you are not happy about that. That is very, very obvious. Alright, meanwhile, turning back to the Hajime versus Noint fights. Actually, in the light novel, there was a slightly different ending to the whole Yui and Shia chapter. They kind of foreshadowed what was coming next, though I get why it was skipped here, but still, I'm so excited to see that scene down the road. I mean, you're not entirely to blame, but Hajime cannot fight at nearly his maximum potential while he's carrying her, and while he's doing his best to make sure she doesn't pass out from the G-forces. I do not remember that happening in the light novel. Was Hajime just stabbed? Because, both of Noint's swords have the same disintegration magic as her wings do, meaning that they would completely and utterly, disintegrate him, turn him to literal ash. Okay, so she just missed. She just barely missed. Wow, you gotta love Hajime's reflexes. Wow. I mean, that is one way to refer to, God. In fact, in the light novel, Hajime even refers to him as a NEET, which, wow, that's brutal. That is incredibly brutal. Despite you saying you have no emotions, it does feel like Hajime is just, ticking you off a little bit. Yeah, you see right there, her eyes lowered a little bit. She's angry. She is really freaking angry. And now it's about time she starts getting serious. Or I guess medium level seriousness for her. That's a lot of fire. That is a lot of firepower right there. And actually here she looks a little bit satisfied. I mean, I don't think she actually thinks he's dead, but she looks satisfied being able to hurt him. I mean, she didn't actually hurt him, but she came darn close. Especially because this right here is a prototype that Hajime hasn't actually really tested out all that much, at least not against a serious attack. Basically, what he did here was create a spatial barrier, a barrier that is theoretically impenetrable. Nothing can break through it. I mean, his actual, drones themselves, those could probably be, heavily damaged and destroyed, but the barrier is invincible. And now they're singing. They're singing without pots and pans and trees and lights, and still they are singing. How are they singing? Why are they singing? Well, as it turns out, they're singing because they are complete and utter religious fanatics. In fact, light novel Ishtar actually hears her saying that and basically cries with joy. He's so happy to be acknowledged by an apostle of his god. Yeah, that is a lot of fire, and a lot of people have already been killed. Humanity is not looking too great in this war right now. And, Eid is the god of humanity, so shouldn't he be trying to, go in and save them? No, the answer is no. Yeah, Eid doesn't really pick sides. He just basically teams up with whatever side he feels like picking in that particular era, and then maybe next time he'll team up with the other guys. That way they're the underdog, that way they can come out on top and win. Huzzah! As thousands and thousands of people and demons are brutally slaughtered. Yay. That is exactly how we view as humans, and demons, and probably beastmen as well. They are nothing but pawns. Oh, that definitely ticked her off, hearing her god referred to as a creepy weirdo. Yeah, not so emotionless as she seems. That is accurate. That is fairly accurate. I mean, like I said before, that barrier was theoretically impenetrable, and she just penetrated it very easily. So that's a bit of a problem. Tio's here! Yay! Somebody can finally take hold of Aiko and get her very far away from this battlefield. And Tio was even able to do quite a bit of damage to a freaking Angel of the Lord! Huzzah! Gotta love those dragon men. And now the second pillar of this tower has been broken. So now they match! Neat! Alright, that was the end of episode 9. Definitely a bit of a mixed episode. I mean, some of that CGI was truly awful. And yet some of Yui's spellcasting and just Yui's whole demeanor, when she got serious, that was top tier. That was absolutely top tier. So Not sure how to feel about that. They also just cut out a whole lot. I mean, like I said before, Yui and Shia killed so many demons before Freed showed up, and then, even after they were fighting Freed, so many more demons were utterly and brutally slaughtered by them. I would like to see that. I really would have liked to see that. They actually got quite a bit of Hajime and Aiko basically battling against Noit together. At one point, Hajime said, "Stop talking, or you'll bite your tongue." And then she did, literally right after he said it. That was adorable. In fact, he even said at one point, "Stop making so many cute noises." Which just utterly and completely flustered her, and oh god, that was adorable. That was so, so adorable. I wish we'd seen that in the anime. Also said that Aiko was calmed by Hajime's steady heart rate, even in the midst of battle. That was adorable. Again, something I wish we'd seen more in the actual anime, but I can't complain too badly. The fights were still impressive. Mikhail was just so absolutely and overwhelmingly insane. I love that. Freed was, Freed. He just cannot catch a goddamn break. He is doomed to always suffer for the rest of his life. Oh, another fun fact, light novel. He was actually a bit awed by Yui's beauty, despite the fact that he is so overwhelmingly racist, as are all demons, and all humans, and most beastmen. I mean, they're racist, at least against the rabbit men. So, yeah, basically everybody in this world is super racist, unfortunately. Anyway, though, Freed, super racist. He is a demon supremacist. He believes that demons are better than any other species and could never be aroused, never be attracted to a non-demon. But even he is awed by Yui's beauty and feels bad about having to kill her. Of course, this is before Yui turns the tables on him and murders just all of his men. Every last one of his, demon soldiers that are with him get murdered by Yui. I'm sorry, Freed. You are destined to suffer here. Alright, next episode is called God's Apostle, which, no surprise there. It's going to be Hajime's battle against Noit, the literal angel of God. Oh, that is going to be next level. That is going to be so overwhelmingly next level. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention. Hajime actually told Tio, get Aiko back down to ground level, back down to safety, and then come back up here to help me fight against, this freaking apostle of God. And all the bishops who are chanting the Hymn of Ruin, which makes me a whole lot weaker. So there's a whole lot left of this fight that's happening 8,000 meters in the air. Also love that beginning, Yui and Shia completely ignore Lily, leave her behind to go deal with Freed. Mostly about 90% because of revenge, but also some of that is the fact that if Freed gets to the Holy Mountain first, if he gets to the Labyrinth, he can destroy the magic circle inside it, and that'll keep Hajime from getting it. I mean, eventually the magic circle would regenerate, it would fix itself, but they aren't really sure how long that would take, so the much better choice is just to, kill Freed before we can get there. Kill Freed before we can get another ancient magic. And those are my thoughts on this episode. Like I said, love Mikhail to being absolutely and completely insane, while Freed is just, like I said, destined to suffer. In fact, in the light novel, he goes on some very long rants saying, "Oh, why are you fighting for humanity? Why are you trying to save humanity? They aren't worthy of you." Completely oblivious to the fact that Yui is fighting for the sake of, Hajime, getting revenge on Freed for hurting Hajime. She does not care at all about the people. But let me know all down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. And until then, peace!